Beat on my program all day long to get it down to 18 minutes, and I got it down to 25. So we're going to see how that goes. Like John did, I'll skip ahead to the end, to the important part when I need to. I'm going to show you what the power of a consilient life is. I'm going to show you how to design and develop a life for yourself of consilience and what I can do for you. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of scenarios in which you're looking for knowledge to solve a problem, and you bring in knowledge from here and there and everywhere. Sometimes I'm not going to point it out for you. I'm going to let stretch you. I'm going to give you the scenario, and you're going to go look at it and see, you know, where is the consilience in there. This is the posture of exploration. You take any 3-year-old and drop them in the world, and man, they are after it. Any 3-year-old. Curiosity, awe, and wonder. After their universe and after nature. That is me 75 years ago on my farm in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, in my world. I was raised in the country. I was out there in the forest alone at night at age 3. Built my own raft, went down to Housatonic at 5. I stretched my mom, but it's just fine. So that's what it's all about. It's about us and the nature and the cosmos and getting to understand that place. What is our place in it? What's the meaning of the hope we got here? The universe formed us to perceive it and to appreciate it. We are part. We didn't get dropped here. Nature formed us to appreciate it. That is consilient knowledge. It's a beautiful PowerPoint slide, but as soon as you memorize that, I'm going to move on. So those are some of the important attributes of what it is. Those are the kind of things I'm going to talk to. So when I look at what is consilient knowledge, I'm looking for those kind of attributes there. Stockbridge, Massachusetts. I was born and raised on a dairy farm. In 1942, we got hay balers to bale the hay. The problem in 1942 is couldn't tie the knots. So the hay coming out the back end and just collapsing and going everywhere. But they're very creative on the farm. And so they took an 8-year-old called Story Musgrave and they put him there to tie the knots when the machine can't tie the knots. So very interesting. Now it's needle nose pliers. I went this way and then that way, square knot, and got my hands out before the next cycle would have taken them off. A whole bunch of years later, I'm a surgeon with a hemostat and a suture, and I go that way and that way to make a square knot. That is the way life goes. Now remember, that's a Farmall M, if there's any red people in the crowd. At the age of 9, I drove every tractor and every machine on the place. Now, the farm went under. Despite the child labor that was keeping the farm going, the farm went under. So at the age of 16, that's my minimum wage job. So the Massachusetts Turnpike being built, and I was a greaser and an oiler at 4 in the morning. You know, you just do all the greasing and oiling, so the people come in and operate the machine. So that's what I did. I got a little bit into the mechanics too. The important thing is that hand and that racket wrench, 40 years later, that hand was up 400 miles in the air fixing Hubble Space Telescope with the same ratchet wrench. That's the way life happens. And you see, you develop a skill set. You go through life and everything. So here we are, 22nd of February. Who am I? Where am I going? You develop a skill set, and you just keep on rolling down that road. So I never finished school. I'm very glad that NASA did not ask, you know, to have a high school diploma. I got other stuff, but I don't have a high school diploma. So I left to join the Marines. The Marines made me a mechanic. That's the kind of motor, 3,000 horsepower, I looked after. Now, I did know I'm very creative on a farm. It's what's wrong, what I got to do. But you never touch that motor unless it's by the procedures, by the checklist, exactly the way they taught you. That's the right way to do it. Now, within 3 months, they made me a plane captain. They assigned 3 airplanes to me. I own those airplanes. I do the motor, but I coordinate everyone else's maintenance. And I am the one, on the day that comes to fly, that signs off 100 items that meet specification, and I am accountable and responsible for airworthiness of military airplanes at the age of 18. So I grew up very fast in that world. That's my airplane, it's my pilot. So we're on board a carrier, and you fly them off. You know, you just fly them off and you hope when you get to the end, it's going to be okay. That pilot's going to get out. My brother was on the same carrier, flying the same airplanes. He wanted to drink, but he didn't get out because the carrier ran over him. So that's the life I've been leading. I left the Marines because my high school diploma, I can't go anywhere. So I took up flying. I don't know why. There's no space program. People ask me, always wanted to be an astronaut? No, not in the 1930s or 40s, 50s. I took up flying. That's my T-34A. I also had to get away from flying to pay for itself so I can afford to do it. So I did air shows. But it's that role of doing it right. And there shows the procedure you got here, and that's all you do. So the whole world, I'm continuing on a path of get it right the first time. And so that kind of path there. Now, I did go to college. I begged my way into Syracuse. No one would take me, but I showed up the day of admission and said, I'm here and I want to go to work. Okay, we'll take you on probation. But I want to stay with the military. The military's get the job done. You know, it's discipline, and it's the esprit de corps, and it's discipline, it's technology. So I want to stay with the Marines. But the active reserve of Syracuse, they didn't have airplanes. They had tanks. Okay, I'll drive tanks. Tanks are just fine. So I drove tanks. And I was also a tank mechanic. Because, you know, if my tank breaks, I'll have it fixed before they fill out the paperwork. That's the way that goes. I also drove this kind of thing here. I drove those going to college. I also drove this here going to college. You know, how do you do it? How do you afford that? Well, it's the hay bales. I not only did the twine, but I was throwing hay bales. I threw thousands and thousands of hay bales. Got to high school, undefeated for 4 years. The rest of the kids are lifting weights. I'm 5 years ahead of them. They can't catch me. So why? That's not important. I went to Syracuse. They got a wrestling team. I'll join that. So I joined the wrestling team, made it my freshman year. So Syracuse and empty scholarship. Syracuse paid for everything. Went board and tuition because I'm a wrestler. And the Marines from the Korea, they paid for everything too. They didn't talk to each other. So I got twice as much money as I need. I do it there. Get 4 times, you get that. So yeah, that's my philosophy. Don't ask who's going to let you do it. Ask who's going to stop you from doing things. But that's part of the path. You see, you got to think, you got to drive this thing. That's going to go fix the telescope. You see the path. It's inevitable. I went to UCLA and big computers. The biggest computer in the world is at UCLA. They donated IBM a 709. And so that's why I'm going there. So I knock on the door. I want to go to work for you. And it's, who are you? Well, I'm a graduate student. Well, we don't have any of those things. We don't have graduate students in this particular place. I said, well, that's why I came here. I want to run those machines. Well, we don't have them. And I said, but you know, I got these tanks and airplanes. I can figure stuff out. They're still sort of skeptical. But then you know what I said? I will work for nothing. I have opened 3 big doors by telling people I work for nothing. Yeah, we'll take you. Come on. But within months, I took over the place. You know, I didn't know anything, but neither do they. So now, here's the way vacuum tube processes worked back then. But I got interest in the brain. How's the nervous system work? Oh dear, leave it alone story. No, I want to know how the brain works. Pre-med, off to Columbia. There I go, into neurosurgery. The biggest triumph I ever had in my life is going to class, neurosurgical research lab, door, that's me. Open the door, go in, it's Don Perper, who was the dean at Einstein for 25 years. He's the guy I'm talking to. I want to work here, I'm a student. We don't have, I will work for nothing, I'll figure it out, okay? Come in, so I did that. Neurosurgery, away I go. Now, Intel asked me this just last year, so we'll skip my way ahead. They said, Story, come in and tell us what the future of the world is. I said, I can't do that, and I'll fall flat in my face. Intel, future of the world, can't do that. Come on, Story, get your courage up. All I did is revert to 50 years earlier when I was in computers. That's the upper part. That's the silicon world you see up there. And then the nervous system, a connection between the neural networks and the silicon world and that kind of stuff, and increasing complexity. We are all living in the world of increasing complexity of Mother Earth. I think the same world is happening in the planets out there. So we fly along, I did this too. Yes, did this too. But I have no surprises, no stories to tell you. It all turned out exactly the way it should. Again, it's the world of doing it right the first time and every time. So that path, I'm on some playing field. What are the rules of the game? How do I do this kind of thing? But all of a sudden, oh my goodness, NASA, National Academy, they want to fly some people in space and got doctors to do science. And I said, Story, leave it alone. How many times? When are you going to grow up and get a job? When are you going to stick with something? No, I've been waiting on that. So it's a fork in the road, man, like this. But I'll plagiarize anything, man. That's in Pasadena, California, and where I teach at Art Center College. But I don't know why it's there, contemporary art, but it's got a road and it's got a fork. So I joined NASA. They landed on the moon. They sent me to the Air Force. I got in this airplane, came back to NASA. And I got in this, that's 50 years old. It's an incredible beauty, what looks well, flies well. And I love your math there, you know, the beauty and elegance. Beauty and elegance on math, it's outrageous, but what looks well, flies well. If I showed you a shark you didn't know, do you think that thing can swim? Oh man. So beauty and what looks well, flies well. And so I got in that thing there. Now I teach beauty at Art Center College. The magic of the concept of beauty is how consilient you have to be to teach it. There is no one thing. You have to do all those things if you are to deal with beauty. And I teach it to all kinds of people. It's an incredible business strategy. You can have to memorize. We can keep going. I took a camera with me every time I fly that airplane. Here's some of my photography. This is an outrageously beautiful machine you're looking at right there. And that's a beauty too. but it's a model. So you learn the airplane, not only, by the airplane itself, by a model. That's for this Rouch's airplane. I helped them design that thing. I was the maintenance test pilot for NASA. Airplane been on a heavy maintenance test piece all over the floor to put it back together, and I fly it to see that it works. But a maintenance test pilot, I look at how you totally learn the airplane. Whose idea was the airplane? How did it arise? What's the history of the airplane? What's the design? What was the designer's intent? So I fly the airplane exactly by spec and see it behaves the way it should. What was the designer's intent? How has it been maintained? How to get manufactured? All that kind of stuff. That man, Bob Mullen, was 45 years he's a mechanic on that machine. 45 years. Now that's incredible knowledge. I kept working on the hangar floor with him. How can you turn him down? He's maintenance, but I'm going to learn what he's got to offer me. So you pull in all the knowledge you can. Now I know I'm doing a book, so I'm going to cheat. I had the mechanics put me a great flying line there because I shuttle it. So it's going to go up. But look what happens. Look what a plume does. What? Incredible plume. But I'm there and I got a camera, so I'll catch that kind of thing, away we go. I saw the most gorgeous rainbow I ever saw on my face. I did end up publishing a book just to celebrate north of T38. Now with NASA, I switched over to trauma surgery because it fit the NASA thing better than neurosurgery. So 2 or 3 days a month, I flew up to Denver General, University Health, and I did trauma surgery. It was also good because I can bring the discipline of aerospace to that field more easily than other fields within medicine. So I did trauma there for 26 years. I did do the first shuttle spacewalk because I helped design the suit, the physiology, the backpack, being a physiologist in medicine, the ergometry of the suit and all. Hubble, they told me 1975, look after that machine, way back, 75. You identify every failure you get into and a spacewalking procedure to fix it, the tools. 18 years, I came up with 12,000 pages of procedures and 300 tools to fix anything that might go wrong, but you got to fix it looking like that, not shirt sleeve. So it's difficult to work, but I have to design the Hubble and the instruments so I could work on it looking like that. So there it is. I changed out everything, and now we launched it in space. Now, I didn't plan on this. We put the wrong mirror in the telescope. I did not have a line item saying NASA's going to put wrong mirror in the telescope. I should have been that cynical, but I wasn't yet. So I got to do something about that. I got a mission now, fix 13 major things. There's a brilliant American engineer taking a shower in Munich, Germany. He's not used to the shower heads that you change the position. He's used to the stream and pointing. He looks at the shower head, he articulates, and he says, doggone, I'm going to fix Hubble that way. Okay, that's the answer. You get ready, that solution is going to come any time. And you see this here? That's what I put in Hubble. I have to package thing. Each one of those is a shower head. So it's got little mirrors that come off and pick up. See, it picks off the light and corrects it and reflects it to another one, which sends it to an instrument called cold start. I would like to turn gravity off, but I can't, so I have to train underwater like this. But I always ask the divers, you see me a better way. If you see a better way for me to my work, you show me that. I listen to everyone, get the best solution, just like I did in surgery. Are you comfortable with what we're doing? Is everyone comfortable? I got a surgical nurse here, right here. She's seen what I'm doing in the hands of 100 surgeons over 30 years. I said, ma'am, how are we doing? Fine story, keep going. You do know an operating room, the surgical nurse knows more than the surgeon. Just fess up to that man, she's going to look after you if you just let her. So that's empowerment. Okay, we're going to go fix Hubble. Yes, space is engineering and it's science, but man, it's a whole bunch more. You know how you feel? Permission to fly by your vehicle? We're going to go fly? Now, way back, we were going to mount jet engines on a shuttle. We're going to fly it through space. That's where we're going to get where we're going. But there's a person that does RC, remote-controlled airplanes. He's just a model airplane person. And he gets a funny idea. Maybe we'll put a shuttle on that. He got a 6-foot 747. He mounted the shuttle, and he's flying around. And that says, my goodness, maybe we could do that in the real world. So that's consilient, okay? Look at the boogie. So space flight is beautiful. Atlantic sunrise, scooting along. It's launch day, but you know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about my birds and my animals down there. That's what I'm concentrating on. And that's the launch pad you see right there, so where we go. I got to keep going. We get in space. I'm running the rendezvous with Hubble on personal computer. It's where we upgrade the system. You get data off the shuttle into personal computer solution, you go back out. So I'm going to go work after 18 years, and I got to put up with this kind of stuff. Congress and the blunders, all the rest of that stuff. No. That doesn't worry me. I'm going to train with this lady, Dorothy Hamlin, how you do spacewalks. You know Dorothy? She knows what you're good at, what you're not good at. She knows what you got a passion about. She plays with all the stuff until she runs into the final solution that you can practice. She get the job done. Spacewalking, figure skating, I trained ballet too. But a spacewalker, that's what I'm going to do. My body's going to go out and do the job. And it's performance. I don't care. I used to go hug this horse, show up at Claiborne Farms, Paris, Kentucky. And I'd say, my goodness, he's here again. Yeah, I'll hug my horse before I leave. It's for you, sir. You were the best. You worked the hardest, and you were the best. That's it. It's performance. So I don't worry about a Congress. That's what I take with me, just to be the best I can. So there's working out there. Here's the real team, Mission Control. Fabulous team. I'm always wanting them with me. I want the help all along the way. Help working on that thing. That's the one, correct the mirror. Just a big camera, beautiful. Here's the work. I went to close these doors. They didn't close that well. I asked about what's the problem with the doors, guys. When I got down to the ground, I said I couldn't close them on the ground either. I need to know that kind of stuff, you know. But I got to come along. You know the ratcheting strap where you tie things to your cargo truck? Back of the truck, I had 2 of those on board. So I took care of that. All right, 20 years ago, talking to President Clinton, melancholy and sadness. A little bit of zero-G, we fixed Hubble. You look at that 12 ounce of Coca-Cola that I got, but you look out the window, you see Mother Earth. The reason Earth is round and the sphere is for the same reason the Coke is, so you see knowledge, how it works. But you now have a feel. Everything out there in space, or liquid or gas, is a perfect sphere. Minimize the surface area. So, a quick look. Here's Florida, and there's Cuba. Beautiful people, sweet people, okay? What can you say? Now, that's Iran. Look at the Earth, the beauty of art. And, of course, the Galapagos. And I'm showing the circulatory system of the Betsy Boca River. And we're going to do microbiology from space. All of those are bacteria and fungi. Algae you're looking at. Look at the incredible beauty. Algae in space. So I was scooting along. I see the clock coming down. And so you like the red leaves. Well, how about the red leaves from space? Utah. Okay, you've seen a solar eclipse. The moon's sitting over. Well, you take that picture, but you look at Mother Earth. That's a shadow, so it's a different way to know it. That's a shadow on Earth you see right there. We take a sunset. Oh, Italy? Look, gorgeous at 9. And so this is what it looks like out the window. We got to come home now. Unfortunately, wrap this up. That's before I fix it. That's after I fixed it. Now, the Hubble, it's a consilient machine. For the public, it tends to bridge cosmology and theology, philosophy and astronomy, that kind of stuff. But it's beauty and it's science. And so here's the Enterprise going into New York City. The Pan Am building, look at the incredible thing. It's going to go there, Intrepid. This is Ransom Aerospace, but oh my goodness. It's the iconography. You understand the shuttle different, and the Statue of Liberty and what the U.S. is. Now, none of my images have been messed with. So the flotilla going up the Hudson River, but next time you see this, I'm going to have George Washington on the bow of that right there. You're going to miss, okay. Here's my landscaping company. That's for a home site. I built a lake there. We fly along my home. I grow all those palm seeds. And yes, I got butterfly, gardening, Catherine. I also got bees and stuff. That's my palm farm. So I have 5 fields. I've raised 8,000 trees, put them in the ground. Bees for hybridization, that kind of stuff. That's the same tractor 70 years ago I was driving. 70 years. You know what it feels like? Drive a tractor you drove 70 years ago? That's a little story. I'm big story. She's been riding this equipment. Time is up. 1 minute, I'll be done. She's been riding this equipment since the age of 2 weeks. Now, when she got to be 2 months, I would tie her car seat to the hood. She'd been riding the hood. Riding the hood there, she's been riding all that kind of stuff. But she's learning her physics, her math, and engineering. The kid is. So you see her today. Hey, look at that kid. Isn't she outrageous? So that's the kid right there. She's into the game. But it's serious. She's doing engineering. She's doing math. She's doing mechanics. You know. So it's the tabula rasa. You come in with a certain genetic set. What experiences do you want? Now, when I'm not there, of course, like this, so I need a supervisor. So the dog is the supervisor. So the dog is looking after her. And if it gets too rough, the dog jumps off or falls off. But if she comes back without the dog, I say, store, you're pushing it too hard. And that's Trampoline Story with a zero-G hairdo. And here's Artist Story. You just see what can you give them. There's a computer table in the background. She's an ocean girl, she's a mulch girl, and she's a dirt girl. She's an earth girl, she's a dirt girl. You can't keep her out of the dirt. So that's for years, and she likes the slime. You go in the pond, she does the slime. She's into the slime kind of stuff. She's a daddy girl, too. I don't know what it's like to have me for a dad, but but that's what it's like. Now, later on, you know, for her, looking after Mother Earth is not going to be academic or politics. She got Earth all through her. You know what she starts looking after? So that's the difference. It's part of her. So that's what you want in life. Like Annette said, you want confidence and optimism. That the problems that come along, I can fix those kind of things. This is her world and it's your world. You took the Hubble and you aimed it where it's nothing. Nothing. And what do you find? It's another 1,000 galaxies. That's what it is. That's your Milky Way galaxy. That's where we all are. And, of course, to come back to home, there's Mother Earth. We're trying to take a picture of Saturn, but you see that little speck? That's Earth. We're on a cosmic journey. You see that's Earth? The Voyager satellite's been out there. That is your home from 5 billion miles, okay? With Walter Cronkite, what do you say about all this story? I got 3 things. I'm incredibly privileged to have had the opportunities and the challenges, but I was allowed to finish the job. I could have been stopped. And thirdly, and most important, it is not over. It's a quest for the universe. What's our place in it? What does it mean? The meaning and hope of being a human being. I wish you to continue that quest for me. Calm seas, favorable winds along the way. With your feet solidly on Mother Earth, your head and heart in the heavens, go forward, and remember you do it simply because the opportunity and the challenge is there. Okay.